Hi, it's Jeff, and doing another one of these chapters on the topic of understanding and working with Americans. And I keep saying this is understand because you got to understand it first, and then you can work with them, right? Um, this one's going to be on the kind of the topic of marketing and sales for Americans, and I'm probably going to do like an intro, and then I'm going to probably do some other little videos on specific anecdotes or examples of this because and I'm actually doing the same thing on this exact same chapter in the other books the other video series I'm doing on working with the French, with the Germans, because this whole marketing and sales thing comes into play for all these things in different countries. So for the Americans, uh, Americans are known in general, especially in other countries, for being really good at marketing and sales. Um, we are just good at it. We grew up with it. We learned how to do show and tell when we were 5 years old, usually in kindergarten class, and then first grade and second grade. And you do a lot of show and tell, bringing some objects in from home, and you show and tell it. So we're really good at presenting and presenting to other people. Yeah, they're introverts, but in general, most Americans are just pretty good at being able to talk and talk about things, and not be scared of it. Whereas I can tell you, living in Europe for 30 years, everybody here is just like petrified of presenting anything, even adults. Okay, it takes a lot to get to that point. Um, and I spent a lot of time showing people how to just give a presentation, that pitch, just how to do this, and the basic 101 course to adults my age, okay, with gray hair. And that's okay. I mean, because it's a different culture. But Americans, I'm going to say that Americans they're, they're good at the marketing and sales things. But on the other hand, Americans are also caught into the same trap of believing a good sounding pitch, even if the information's not true or kind of, it sounds cool, it sounds believable, but it might be full of stuff that's just not true. Um, this is the whole fact-based stuff, okay, right? Fact-based checking. That's why fact checking has come up so much, because Americans are really at making it sound good. I'm really good at making things sound good. Um, but my integrity wise doesn't. I just don't want to talk about things that I don't know about. I can talk about it. I can do it, and I can sell pretty much anything. But I'm not going to do it if it's going to ruin my integrity or make me look stupid. Um, so that's why I don't do things that I just don't know information about it. Even if I have tangent information about it, no way. I'm just going to say, hey, here's the resource. Go talk to those resources or do that. Look at that. But the Americans actually are bought into this whole thing of believing what sounds believable. Okay, and this can be a trap. Okay, um, and there's just not enough digging deep into the like questioning stuff. It's just because it sounds a tweet sound, a little bit size sound bites that sound good are just believable. Americans are really good at doing this and believing it, right? And having lived in other cultures where, you really question what the person's saying. I've seen this more and more and more and more, and I'm beginning to understand why a lot of people mistrust or don't have trust or question Americans, because they'll talk about things sometimes and they just don't know about it. Because this comes back in the other chapter about leadership and management. The chapter on management talks about Americans believe that you can manage anything. You just have to have the skills to manage, and you just have to know the buzzwords, and you can kind of do it, right? That doesn't always work for other cultures. So this is kind of an important thing with the whole marketing, sales, or communication, all that kind of stuff. So what I want to do is I want to kind of start this chapter here, and then I'm going to go ahead and make some other little videos on some specific examples where I've seen this really be convincing or sometimes backfire, and I want to give some examples of that. So I'll probably make some other short video clips here on subtopics of this. I got one specific one I'm going to deal with, which we've all been. This was actually stopped me from writing this book. The example I'm going to get to, and I'll get to it in here in a minute in a separate chapter. It actually stopped me in writing this book on working with American stuff, and now I'm picking it up. I think 6-7 years later. Let's see, it's 4 + 2, 6 years later. So after I stopped working on it, so I'm going to do that one, and then we'll kind of dig into a few of these examples. But again, Americans can make things sound believable. That doesn't always mean that it's true, or that it's really true. I mean, it might be partially. I'm not saying they're lying. Americans are good at telling a story, and you can tell a story any way you want. It's like data. You can make data sound whatever you want to, just as long as you massage your data right. So this is kind of the same principle, even in science. But it's how you want to focus on what you want to focus on, and Americans are pretty good at making something sound believable. So, so that's kind of a thing to understand how to work with Americans, because they will sometimes talk about things they don't really know completely, but got a way how you can present it. And I can do this myself. I can take a topic if I have to, if there's really need to take on a topic because there's no one else wants to do it, and I'll just like get the information quickly and I'll present it. Just to cover the fact that it was presented or something, and it sounds believable, even if I've just basically got a few buzzwords. And I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that because I don't like doing things that are not going to be again, that can come back and bite me in the rear end later on, point in time. So, but that's so this is the beginning, and then we'll do some of the little chapters, subtopics on this chapter here about marketing, communication, and believing. It's all about trust too, and believing. I mean, all this goes together. So I don't know exactly what the chapter title is going to be, but I'm going to kind of put them all in a sub playlist somewhere. Okay, good. Here we go.